welcome everybody to this live charting event for the Valhalla technical analysis and trading server. So without further ado, we're going to get started with Bitcoin on a tick chart. Just kidding. So let's go and check out the overall markets, check out volume and the charts over the last 7 days. So we have Bitcoin here, which is trading around 16 billion volume in the last 24 hours. Yeah, so that's a relatively low volume actually. All right. So as we can see, we've been bullish since the beginning of the month, and it's meeting its resistance here in terms of price. It hasn't clocked in at 29,000 yet. So let's take a look at this chart here. Actually, I actually started like some new charts here. I'm using Bitfinex for Bitcoin and Ethereum because they have a whole lot of history. So as you can see, this is what I have for the bullish scenario. These waves down are not exactly what I think. So let's just start over from here. Or which drawings are there? I don't see them. Maybe they're on a smaller time frame. I think it might be the cheat sheets that I use some charts for cheat sheets, so might be that. Anyway, so this is my count for the bull market since I guess 2017. So all of this structure here would be one, one, two. We got three, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 4 and 5. Am I talking loud enough for you guys? I'm not sure if we can hear you on the stream, but you can go ahead and answer. All right. So I like to think that on the bear market that we've had since for the entire year of 2022, that this would be the ABC right here. So we have 5 waves down here. We have a corrective structure in the upwards direction up to almost 50K, and another 5 wave down here with I'd like to say an extended wave 1 with a shallow wave 2, 3 down here, and a wave 5 here. I'm sure if we measure it, it's valid. We can also zoom in to see if what I just said makes sense. Because this to me is an entire structure, so, oh well, that's A, so, okay. Yeah, this to me is an entire structure. Oh shit. Let's zoom in some more. Then we get back to like what's been going on and what's been talked about lately is this flat here. Which is very valid. Let's diminish the degree on that one. So to make that work, the impulse would have to be something like this. One here, and A, B, and C in the running flat. A 3 here. Then you have your expanded flat, and a 5 finishing down It could be truncated. It could not be. Wave 3 is extended. It's at least 1618 as long as 1. So we could see a double bottom, or we could wick lower. Oops, right up here. Remove the lines, clean it up. And the reason why this makes a whole lot of sense is this is not a diagonal and it's not an impulse. So we have an ABC or a combo structure on the way up. B retraces equal or past wave A, the start of wave A. So that puts us in the 335 structure. So we would expect an impulse here, which we got. Is it finished? I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, we have A, B, and C wherever it finishes. Actually, no, I just did the opposite of what I needed to do. It's all right to get confused in your wave setup sometimes. It happens. Don't worry about it. Okay, so actually this one would be in minuscule because it's a subwave of a submicro right there. All right, so that's how I would chart Bitcoin going forward. It would be my main count. Now for the bullish count. The bullish count would simply eliminate this flat here and have this come down here as a wave 5. The problem is it's not very pretty, so less likely. This here, this little move here, let's zoom in just a bit more. This here could be our entire wave 5 of C, but it has very, very little volume. But it did initiate the bounce, and this does look like it could be a wave 1 of a wave 1, etc. So, oops, let's zoom back out and check out this brand new impulse. So this would obviously be the top of 4 in the bullish count. Actually, let's flip this red because it's downward. And create a new green impulse up here. So this would be 1, as we said. And your sub 1 of 3 would be here. See, this is actually a very ugly wave 4. I mean, it's valid. If we zoom in, we could probably count the subwaves of that. So let's do that right now and see. Because as you guys know, when this actually happened, we had this pegged as only a wave A of wave 4. Actually, I think we had this whole move finished. But what we were seeing was actually a 1, 2, and 3. So let's move in here. Let's dissect this wave 4. So the first thing we want to do is identify where the wave finishes. So here we have a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. So the top would be here. It's actually a double top wave 3. So here's where we would start, in my opinion. But there is an argument for this to be 3, 4, and 5. So we'll also take a look at this one, with this being a flat A, B, and C. And you know what? This is actually rather ugly. This cannot be an impulse. So this count actually screws us up. So let's go to the path of this one being the 5 of 3. And starting here, which looks like could be a double zigzag right here. We'll count those subwaves as well. So we have A, B, C, W, A, B, C, X, A, B, C, and Y. And we will lower the degree of that wave. I don't see any other way to count it because it can't be I don't see a valid wave 3. If this is wave 3, it's the shortest wave. So that disqualifies this as an impulse. All right. And as for this is a clean impulse upwards. We have a 1, 2 down here, 3 up here. You see the volume, 4 and 5. And if we pop on the oscillators, this is clearly the top. You have the histogram and RSI confirming with volume that this is our wave 3. So all we have to do is count the 5 waves on the top. This is rounding over. So yeah, I fully expect massive retrace very, very soon. What is this? I think we have both of them. I think I counted this one, right? So let's just remove that, put this back here. All right, so assuming this is a wave 1, we all know that if this is actually a C wave, we're going down to the bottom. I expect at the very least under 15,500. But if this is an impulse as a wave 2 guideline, we would expect at least a 50% retrace. But there is a high level of confluence, as you can see. If I put a line there, right here on the 618 at 20K, let's put that one white, and start drawing arrows at the confluence points. First and most recent confluence point is right here, January 18th. It acted as a support. Actually, a few days in a row. If we zoom in to the 8-hour, check out the arrows. It hovered around that price for like almost 2 weeks, I would say. So this should act as a good support. So I'm going to note that down right there. We also have it as a, that's going to be a pain in the ass, isn't it? So let's put it towards the right side. It also acts as a miniature support here and a resistance there. So I want to put an arrow right there. And in October as well. I mean, it doesn't actually touch the line, but it got close enough to assume that it had an important role back then. And you have these two downside price actions which bounce just above the line. So I would be tempted at this point, instead of a line, to make a box that would englobe this price action here. Whoa, I just lost my screen. Okay, this price action here, coming all the way down to catch these wicks and expand to catch these ones as well. And that's how you find a confluence zone, by checking past price action. So this box goes from 20.4K to 20.8 roughly. So I would expect some strong confluence in that zone. And if we look here, if we zoom out, I was hoping like the body of the candle here would be above this line, but it's not. But anyhow, I mean, this whole zone here is still the golden pocket, and I expect it to be very reactive when it hits that price. All right, do you guys have any questions regarding this, the Bitcoin chart, my methods, anything? Are there any concepts with Elliott Wave that you'd like me to go into in more detail? All good? All right, so now we can move on to the coin formerly known by me as a shitcoin, Ethereum. Do the same exercise. Elliott waves from the start. Waves 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3 of 3, 3, and 4, and 5. You do expect that some coins will unpair from Bitcoin and make different formations, but the pivot points in time are often the same. So if we were to superpose Bitcoin on top of this, it would look very similar. Actually, I think we can do that. Let's do that. See? So you see, like Ethereum actually moved harder in its peaks than Bitcoin did, but the pivot points are roughly the same, even down to the B waves and stuff. So we could turn that off. Now let's just flip on the FSS for Ethereum. I don't think I've ever checked it out really. All right, 130. Busted. And you didn't get another signal. So the weekly for Ethereum is not really a good one. Let's try 10 days and see. Same thing. 3 days is better. There are a few false ones. This one ain't half bad. 10% rise here. This one is decent. 1300 to 1700. 20%. That's not bad either. This short signal though. Oh my God. I'm really, really sorry I didn't put more effort into this last year, very early last year. It would have been great for everybody. All right, so we have these. Let's put these up to a higher degree so we can work the subwaves. This is fairly clear. I have 1 running flat here, 2, and 3 on this one. You see the high volume? High volume. Let's zoom in a bit. High volume, you're high on oscillators. This one made a higher high on histo, but when in doubt, you trust the volume a bit more. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And here we have a diagonal wave A or a combo. So this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only criteria we need to verify here is wave 3 cannot be the shortest. So we measure that and we measure wave 3. It is longer, so we're good. I always like to draw the diagonal lines as well. So we draw that here. Oops, didn't measure. Right there. And from the top of 1 to the top of 3. That's really odd though. Contracting, actually I think this, no, this is not a very good diagonal because it goes against the rules. So when you have a contracting diagonal, like so, let's see something like this. What you want to see is, you want to see that your wave 1 is the longest coming into the diagonal. It comes in like on a strong move. So you have this and down for 2, up for 3, 4, and 5 is supposed to be your shortest, see? But in this case, you have 5 as your longest. All right. So we have to look elsewhere for a wave solution for this one. So I would probably say, let's zoom in and find out. Now I'm curious. Where is it? Right here? Oh no. Let's get rid of the oscillators. We don't need them for now. Where was I? This was this one, right? Yeah, I think so. Okay. So I probably have this as, for the ABC, you don't want to go over a certain ratio. And this is too high. But you know what? We do have a solution right here, staring us right in the face. This right here is an impulse. So this is your A. This is an ugly B though. Wow. But it is valid. All right. So let's lower these wave degrees here. And A, B, and C with a rare double top, double bottom, A, B, C. And you have right here your C wave, which is either this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and a truncated fifth, which is, if we measure it, I'm ready to bet it's about the same length as wave 1, which would make it a textbook wave 5. There we go. Just like that. And we have us coming back up for a wave 1. This is a valid wave 1, 2, 1 and 2. Wave 1 of 5. Right here, 1, 2, and 3. Not very much volume, so we'll have to pop out the oscillators to check it out, and a 5. So let's do that. Yeah, we have a top here, we have a top here. There's no confluence for this to be a wave 3, but it's not a top anyway, so we don't care about that. Let's just switch these colors up so it's not so confusing. This is an upwards ABC, so we switch it to green. Fat fingers, stop it. This is a downwards impulse, red. And so actually what we can do is replace these three with a red ABC now that we've counted the subwaves. One, A, B, and C. Flip it back red. Some micro. There we go. So ABC4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in wave 5. And the bear market now. All right. This wick is pretty ugly though. I don't like it very much. I also don't like the fact that we can't see a divergence here. This looks like an impulse. It's very ugly. Um, let's do this. A, B. I probably mark this down as a combo of some sort. So A, B, and C here. A, B, C there. So now we need to figure out if it's going to be, this also depends on Bitcoin, if it's going to be a double or a triple, like this. This would be the triple. And the bullish scenario is that we're done and it is a double WXY up here. This is A, B, C. No, that doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. Are we going to find the answers to our problems? Charting ETH? What do you guys think about all of this? What would your count be? It will always apply in the long run. Like you can chart 100% of everything, I mean, except a death chart. And you can't chart Luna's death with Elliott wave. But a chart that will exist tomorrow and will continue to exist, you'll always be able to find a scenario where the waves will apply. Now I have to go back and check because this structure right here, this structure is an impulse. All right, I could see that. So you can't make a zigzag out of this. You could, but it would be extremely ugly. So actually, if I zoom in, you could find the divergence there. In fact, the more you zoom in, the more you can figure out that this wave here might be wave 3. Let's zoom in just a bit more. Let's see here. I mean, even here, you have a divergence for your 5th wave. So this would be 3 of whatever. And yeah, I think this has good odds of being the wave 5 of 3. So let's zoom back out, label that up. We need to find an impulse in here, basically, which is here's where it's difficult to find, unless here this is your 5, because this would be extended. This wick, man, just throws a monkey wrench into the whole thing. But let's label it like that. See what I do in these cases, I sometimes will go and find other analysts and see what they say. This wick could be part of the correction. So you have one, A, B, and C back up into a running flat. So 2 would finish here, and 3 would finish here. You still have an A, B, C up here, and 4, and then 5. Or, because this implies a longer bear market, because this would have to be a B right here, and we have to come back down for a C, which is entirely possible. It depends on what Bitcoin is going to be doing. But the count that I prefer would be, let's zoom in just a bit more so we have a bit more room. Actually, since we counted the subways, we can remove these. Chart's going to be cleaner. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. I know this is different from what I drew a while ago, but this also makes sense. A, B, and C upwards. And another impulse down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is the count that assumes the correction, the bear market is done. So we have A, B, C macro. Right there. Now that those waves are done, we can remove the subwaves. I can't stand having too many wave degrees on my chart. All right, so now that we've done that, we can start with the new bullish impulse. Give me a second. Okay, so this is pretty clear here. I'm actually going to minimize the ASG because it's not useful when we're charting this type of thing. Where is that? Oh, where is that? How do I? Oh, where is that? I can't find that. Can I zoom into this? Change window, stop streaming, stream quality. How's the quality, by the way? I can't find this thing. Um, Noise suppression. I just started, but yeah, I wanna keep doing it every 2 weeks maybe, because Lilith is working today, so I have time. I want it to be at this time, yeah. It's both early enough in the day where it doesn't monopolize the entire day, and not too late where you're not tired. I need to find this chat. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I found it. I think, yes, there. Okay. So let's pull this up. I'm actually going to save the image and see if I can open it up in that window. Downloads. There we go. That should work. All right. So this is for Bitcoin, right? It's for the bull market version. Okay, so you have one. Okay, so you have us in finishing up wave 2 of 3, right? Okay, the waves are not overlapping. A, B, C for X, A, B, C for Y, and W as well. Yeah, I've seen Yosen actually pop up with some bat structures that maybe this looks like. I'm not familiar with them. There's also the diamond top structure with which this could look like. Um, but the count works. So I just don't see us being done. I mean, I see all of this structure right here as one structure. Yeah, I mean, this one, the top is 25, 26.5. Let me pop it up on my chart and see. 26.5. Okay, what's the time frame on this one? 1 hour. Ah, we're not looking at the same thing at all. All right. Okay, I see. I see. You see, the problem with that is this is a very strong wave. You see the volume here. You see the RSI is overbought. You have high histogram peaks in that wave. So this would be a 3 for me. It wouldn't be a 1. This one here. So that's what bothers me with that count. But it's a when you look at it from here, it's just beautiful. You have a small one, wave 1 with a massive volume, wave 3, very easy to read, A, B, and C here, and then a diagonal on the way back up for wave 1 of 5, high volume, high RSI for wave 3, wonky wave 4, and another sort of diagonal for a wave 5, and we don't know where it ends. I mean, this candle here could just be a B wave or something. So, uh, so we gotta zoom in and see. That's what we gotta do. Zoom in 30 minutes. Let's see what that gives us. Now that we know approximately where the waves are, we don't really need the oscillators for now. So like I said, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. This is that right here. Let's just actually move. No, let's not do that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on a diagonal. The only thing I don't like about this is it's not correcting nearly as much as I'd want it to. Because diagonals typically retrace at least 618. So, oops. So 4. So this is 3. This is 3. Somewhere in there. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, this is a wonky 4, like I said. I don't know where this 4 ends. A, B, C. Yeah, I'll have to assume this for now. Actually, I'd probably rather put it here. It's more harmonic for the rest of the waves. This could actually be our wave 5 here. Proper diagonal. Let's draw it out. 5 doesn't come close, but it finishes higher than wave 3. From wave 2 to the bottom of wave 4, expanding flat. The only thing that doesn't meet the criteria for a diagonal is wave 5 probably won't be the longest wave. And I'm not sure if that's a rule or just a guideline. So, how do we handle this? Huh? So, and it cannot be an impulse. Wave 4 retraces into the top of wave 1, and we don't break rules, right? Oh, well, this could work. How about this? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That would work. That would work. It's a very big failed impulse, though. Yeah, like that. Where's this wave going? I lost my waves, guys. Anyway, I think it's like this, something like that. I didn't want this to be the top, because it was ugly, but A, B, and this could be a decent flat. But it shouldn't be. It should be the start of an impulse. Maybe this is 1, 2, and we're going into a diagonal 3. 1 of 3, that is. Because if this is the top of an entire structure, you don't want it starting out like as a narrow flat right here. What you want is something very impulsive. After this wave 1, you want something coming down here like that. Ideally, an impulse right down to come and retest this here. This would be a support coming up for an ABC here, and the C wave down, which can either be, well, depending on whether or not A is sharp or not, C is either going to be really sharp or diagonal. It could drag on for a month or something. Because as we know, retracements, corrections, they often last longer than we anticipate, and that's how we lose patience and we get wrecked. So yeah, assuming this formation happens, we could start looking at some patterns that are going to play out. Speaking of patterns, this right here, cup and handle. What comes after that? The moon. No, I'm not that confident. I am not that confident. I don't play patterns. But uh, what was I gonna say? The Moon Boys. Yeah, exactly. So basically, what we're doing here when we do Elliott waves is we try to figure out which setup gives us the most boxes checked. You want to respect 100% of the rules, and you want to find the count that gives you the most confluence according to the numbers of guidelines you're respecting. So if you have a count, let's say that gives you an ABC, all right? Like this one here. Let's say this is an ABC. I've said it before and I will say it again. Any ABC can be a 1, 2, 3. The differences between both counts are minimal. Where you're going to make your bread and butter is by determining what is a wave 3 versus what is a wave C. Because wave 3s are incredibly strong. So you don't want to be caught counter trading a wave 3 ever. So let's say we're right here and we get a massive, massive, massive red candle up here. This to me is no longer a wave C. And this support probably won't hold more than a few days. And it would become something more like this. And you come up for C because you're going to be toying with this zone. This is a zone where there's a lot of confluence. So what happens then is you come down here, come back here, get some liquidity and come back down for wave C. Ah, you dummy. Actually, well, it doesn't have to come down all the way there. And there's also the possibility that this wave down is just, this is the bearish count overall, is just one big impulse to finish off the hope of the bulls. Let's put it, no, actually that's too deep. What am I doing? Let's draw it with arrows. It's going to be easier to see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And up for ABC. And then, no, actually, no. No. I did it again. Sorry, guys. 1, 2, I did it again. 1, 2. If we bust through this with a wave 3, it's not going to stop before we get to 16 or 17K. Then we come up and retest this one here. And then we go down for either the double bottom or 12, 13K. At which point, I will be buying Bitcoin, by the way, if we get to that. So, any more questions? I'm going to erase this because it's contextual, so not everybody's going to be wanting to have that on the screen. We counted the subwaves here, so we can leave that there. This is the bullish count, and I'm going to leave this zone here for future reference. So we can move on. I think we were done with Ethereum as well. Actually, we weren't. I want to look at this chart first before I do this, because I think this chart is starting to look pretty damn good. Oh yeah. Let's chart this just for a second here. It's a difficult chart though, but we do have a bottoming pattern here. Man, this can moon so bad, but I don't understand the structure. It's too bad. All right, so this here looks like a diagonal to me. A, B, and C. So this one has volume, but just on the way down. But it does have a peak in RSI. So when I do stuff like this, I'm just actually trying to figure out like where I'm going to put my wave 3. That's my perpetual question. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right here. A, B, and C. Wave 2, 3, 4, and a 5 diagonal right here. Oh my God. Like I said earlier, I like to see diagonals retracing a whole lot before I jump in. It's not looking as good as I thought it would. So we have, oh, this changes things because this looks like an impulse again, or there should be a B wave. So I have maybe A, B, and C. No, this is A, this is B. This correction is way too long. Actually, it's not that bad. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm thinking in my head and talking out loud. Okay, so this does work. So let's iron out the waves here. I mean, this is not staged. I didn't look at this before. So we have an ABCA, A, B, and I think C, B up here. So normally it would be something like that. And this B is A and B, and we're done B. So in the very short term, in the next few months, this chart is incredibly bullish. Because I see this as done right here. This A is done. This looks done. I need to zoom in to find out more. And we'll do that now. I mean, this is a BTC reference chart, so if Bitcoin is to go down, and I think it will in the next few days and weeks, it just means that ETH will not go down at the same rate. So this is what I'm expecting here. Okay, A, B, probably needs another wave down, however. So it just hit the golden pocket, and I would assume that it would continue right down to here before bouncing up for wave C, so something like this. What's that in terms of percentage? Is it worth looking at? That's pretty good. Since I think it's coming up here, it's probably around 30-40%. So if Bitcoin loses 20-30%, you should see ETH losing a lot less than that in the same time frame, in my opinion. So let's draw the arrows out. This is what I expect right here. Zoom out, reduce, just like that. Yep, that does look good. Let's see here what it gives. This is not a diagonal. Yeah, let's let's hike this up right here because I see some confluence. If you draw the line on the 618, which I love to do, you'll see some confluence here and you'll see some here as well. So I think there's a good chance for a bounce at 043. So let's keep an eye on that. All right, so let's, without further ado, check out the bullish version of the new impulse up here. So unlike Bitcoin, which had a new low in late November, Ethereum did not have that low. So it had an uptrend starting in July or June, right? So we have a very nice impulse here actually. So one with a flat here. We have three up here. We take into account this high volume candle, which is part of wave 3, which helps us identify it. Come down for wave 4 with a bit of choppiness, and then up for 5 more waves right here. Let's check the oscillators just to validate our wave 3. Wave 3 is overbought. It has a spike on histogram, and now we measure the retracement of that wave, which should be around 786 if my eyes are not. There we go. 786, it dipped through it, but it bounced on a confluence candle right here. Right there. Come on. Right here. All right, very nice. So, lower degree wave 2 bounce off a higher degree. That's it's not something you want to bet on, but it's nice to see, you know. All right, so this correction here, what is this? This is an impulse. So this is A, B, and C. So I would have A, B, and C, and A, B, and C. So we have ourselves a double combo right here, actually right here. What am I doing? All right. So this is not a very pretty impulse. So if we're assuming, well, I mean, we don't assume, but we would expect wave 1 to be very tiny in comparison to wave 3. So if this is wave 1 of 3, wave 3 is going to be huge. So what I see here is not a diagonal, but it's a weaker impulse. So a wave 1 of 3, like this. And I would expect wave 3 up here. So this is the bullish count. Let's erase these fibs here, and draw them again for the impulse we just drew. From the bottom of 1 to the top of 1, we expect wave 2 to retrace 618. And look at that right here. Lower degree wave 4. I would expect a solid bounce, and I will be buying Ethereum at this price. So we draw a box. We set ourselves an alert in the upper pocket because we are a squirrel and we don't want to forget. Let's put that in the box. And we have our first Odin zone during live charting. And if I'm not mistaken, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first Ethereum Odin zone. So now that that's there, let's do a fib extension. Let's do a fib extension on this one. Okay, so this is I'm going to use it as a fractal to find what the fib extension of 1 to 3 is. So we have what? This is a 2.0 fib extension. And if we see the wave 3 of 3, it's then a 1618. So let's do that on the previous bull market. Can we do that? Gotta zoom out a bit. There we go. This is probably 2618 though. But I'm wondering if, you know, this zone here might correspond to something that we're looking for. What the hell did I just do? I just didn't go. All right. Something like that. So yeah, 3 of 3. 3 of 3 is at 1, 2, 3, 6. The top of 3 is at 2618 and higher. So what are we looking for here? This high volume candle ends here. So that's good confluence for that zone. So let's try it inside of wave 3 this time. So bottom of wave 2. So wave 1 of 3 here and there. See, inside its own wave, it's hyperextended. And we're seeing this high volume candle clock in at the 4618, which is huge. But this is not what we're trying to measure. Let's try these ones. This one looks like something that will provide us with proper confluence as well. So we have the top of wave 3 of 3 clocking at 2.0, is that it? No, 2.272. So it's actually all over the place. So if we're going to be take profits on this, I would set it all the way up. All the way up. So this was 1. We can erase this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just as placeholders. So let's do this. Actually, we're going to draw 2 fibs. We're going to draw this one on the macro. This is even if I put micro, it's macro. When you see the circle numbers, it's a macro count. So let's measure this. I would expect to be taking profits all the way along here, starting here. Whoops, you dumbass. Here, here. Actually, I'd be taking a lot of profits right here, and I'd leave a small amount on the table as a moon bag. All the way up there. So that's that. We want to draw a second one using the microstructure right here. And we're going to be putting a lot of emphasis on the confluence zones between these two fib extensions. So right here, this is a zone of high confluence. This is a zone of high confluence. I was expecting this, so I had no problems putting my arrows there. And this one right here is pretty huge as well. 4100. I'd probably take half of what's left on the table at this point. And if we put the long position, starting from our Odin zone, tighten up the stop loss to, man, that's 10%. I don't like that. It's way too much. I'd rather close and then reopen at the 786. This is acceptable to me. And then what I do is I put the take profit up here where I would take most of my profits. This is absolutely a monster trade if it comes. So we're looking at 42 RR, almost 150% profit. And also like there's confluence here. So I would always look to take profits below this peak. Of course, I'm going to leave some on the table, but you understand what I mean. Wow. I've been talking for an hour and I don't have time to do the other coins though. But I think we needed this deep dive into the two big coins in order to jumpstart RTA into going into the other pairs. I'm not going to do them on live charting, but I am going to do them over the weekend, and I'm going to release the TA into the server and on YouTube as well. So, do you guys have any? Yeah. So, what's your guys' appreciation for all of this? Do you like the format? Do you want me to go slower? You want me to go faster? We can just we can just chat about it as well a bit later. So yeah, I'm gonna have to post a note in zone a little later today on a coin I'm not thrilled about posting a note in zone for. So, but S has been good to me in the last few months, so we're good. All right, guys. Thank you for showing up, and you guys have a great weekend.